Hello, everyone. It's Shane Kanto, your Wasteland Reviewer, and welcome to Lost in the Wasteland, my weekly interview show where I learn a little bit more about somebody else's perspective on movies. And I have a special guest this week joining me, a fellow member of our New Jersey Critics Circle. It is Nicholas Attanasio. Thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you for having me. I'm so excited to be here. Yeah,
Absolutely. I
yeah,
always get excited. It's like other movie lovers from New Jersey. We love it. Love
yeah.
to see it. So there we go. But before we dive into my questions, Nicholas, if you would like to shamelessly plug where people can check out your work.
So I do freelance journalism work on Out in Jersey. It's outinjersey.net and also in their print publication. I mainly do movie and like film stuff for them. I also have my own site on WordPress. It's Nick's Entertainment Reviews at WordPress. And I also am a volunteer of the Newark LGBT Film Festival. I help organize that every year, and that takes place at like three venues around the city of Newark.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Obviously, love to check out some of your writing and stuff like that. And it's always awesome to be involved in different types of like film experiences and helping out, like giving a good spotlight to different types of creators and stuff like that deserve a little bit of extra love and that kind of spotlight. Tis the season, especially for I don't know when that film festival is, but we certainly are in the middle of plenty of other film festival type season in the fall. A lot of movies coming out for sure.
Yeah, definitely.
But we'll get started then with my first question, which is either people's easiest or hardest question to answer, depending on if you have that one favorite movie. But Nicholas, what's your favorite film?
It's so hard, but I'd say one my favorite is definitely If I Stay. I'm such a fan of the
Okay.
early 2010s book to movie adaptations, like The Fault in Our
Mhm.
Stars. Like those
Okay.
stories just really resonate with me, and I love books and reading the book and seeing the movie. So If I Stay is just a story that really means a lot to me about like overcoming adversity, and I love the musical elements too. And I just think it's a really good reminder about living your life to the fullest, and I really love it.
Awesome.
Yeah.
I don't think I've seen If I Stay, but added to the endless movie watch list that all of us movie fans certainly have for ourselves.
Yeah, there's
In
so
terms of
much.
checking.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And those types of films, like I distinctly remember that summer going to see like The Fault in Our Stars.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, time to go feel some things in a movie theater today.
Yeah, they really give you all the feels like those romantic movies.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Which is interesting because the director of Fault in Our Stars has a new film coming out
Yeah.
around the time that we're recording. So looking forward to checking that out. Has a pretty star-studded cast, to be perfectly honest. It only makes me feel slightly old seeing Dave Franco playing a dad.
Yeah.
But get over that for sure.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
now, Nicholas, what's your earliest memory of going to the movies?
Probably seeing Monsters Inc. on the big screen.
Nice.
Yeah, I'm a 90s kid. I was born in 1996, so like the early
Mhm.
2000s, like those movies were like my childhood. So like yeah, seeing Monsters Inc. was the first one.
Well, I'll have to say that's my favorite Pixar movie. I love that movie so much. And I don't think I saw it in theaters, but 2001 certainly was a very special year for movies in terms of like formative experiences. Cause like that came out that year. Shrek came out. First Harry Potter came out. Lord of the Rings started in 2001. What a special year.
Yeah, really, really was.
That's
Yeah.
Sully's still one of my favorite animated characters ever.
Oh, he's great. So amazing. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I did see Shrek in theaters that year. I distinctly remember that experience for
Oh,
sure.
wow. How old were you? I'm curious.
So I was born in 91, so I
Okay.
was 10.
Oh.
But my mom and my aunt, when, jokes like eat me and stuff like that started dropping in the movie, like, what did we take our children to?
That's funny.
Which
Yeah.
that's the thing. So like I love both of them as kid. I love both of them even more as an adult. One because there's just that emotional resonance and everything, and Shrek because I get all the jokes and they're hilarious.
Yeah.
So there you go.
Yeah. And now we have Shrek 5 coming out soon after all these years.
You know, after Shrek the third, I was so
Yeah.
disappointed when that came out,
Yeah.
and Shrek Forever After, I feel like just like came and went so
Mhm.
quickly, and it wasn't until like Puss in Boots: The Last Wish came out, I'm like, wait a minute. don't get me excited. I might actually want to see Shrek 5 now. And
Yeah.
then of course DreamWorks is like, we're gonna make it happen.
Oh,
So
yeah. Puss in Boots: The Last Wish. Oh my God, that's an amazing film.
it was
Yeah.
so great. And
Yeah.
especially after like I enjoy and own the first Puss in Boots, but like it's not great. It's
Hmm.
a fun time.
Hmm.
That just was like, this movie did not have any right being as great as this is. And it gives me hope.
Yeah.
I'm 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 optimistic cautiously about Shrek 5. So we'll
Yeah.
have to see in God, I think they pushed that back to 2027 now.
Mhm.
So still gotta wait. But anyway, I have a few other types of favorite questions for you, Nicholas. So what's your favorite genre of movies?
So I'll definitely say it's like a tie, but I will say just because it's the first one that made me fall in love with film, romantic
Okay,
dramas. Because when
okay,
I was 12, I saw Dear John on the big screen with my
okay.
family. That made me like really fall in love with film and then get into horror and just like become a true cinephile from seeing Dear John when I was like
Mhm.
12. So romantic dramas really hold a special place in my heart, but I love horrors too. So like they're neck and neck.
You know,
Yeah.
they seem very different, but they elicit
Yeah.
very powerful emotions, whether it's, general like tears or well, I guess technically horror could get you crying too, but a different way.
Yeah.
But no, like I really appreciate when a film can make you fall for characters and the relationship, something special. Because that's like a deeply human emotion and connection that it's able to do. And I'm a big baby, so horror movies scare me pretty
Yeah.
easy
Yeah.
for
Yeah.
sure. Now, Nicholas, do you have a particular favorite filmmaker?
So right now, going off of horror, I really am a fan of Scott Derrickson of Sinister,
Very
which is
nice.
one of the scariest movies I've ever seen. But do you watch
Mhm.
horror or no? Because you say you don't like. Do you?
So it's funny because I never watched horror
Yeah.
until I like honestly got out of college.
Oh, okay.
And then as I watch basically anything and everything
Mhm.
now, and we make so many horror movies. So I would shock myself if I turn back 10 years and we're like, you watch horror movies almost every day. It's like, no, I don't. It's like, yes, I do. But Sinister's terrifying for
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah, his movies just like I feel like he captures something terrifying in like Sinister, The Black One, and also his short in VHS 85. Like I just find his movies to
Yes.
be so good, like emotional but really, really scary too.
Yes,
Yeah.
Sinister's terrifying, and the
Yeah.
like he understands making such a visceral kind of experience.
Yeah.
And I actually went just saw Black Phone 2 last night as we're recording. So, and I was super excited about that. Those trailers were like, "Yep, I'm deeply unnerved by this and looking forward to seeing how it goes." So,
Oh, did you see it or you said you're seeing it?
I saw it last night.
How was it?
I liked it a lot.
Yeah.
I was a bit hesitant where like they're making a sequel to this. What is it gonna
Yeah.
be about?
Yeah.
And then not gonna lie, when I watched the trailer, I'm like, okay, I could see this and I'm hooked. And I thought they did some really interesting things for sure. And
Yeah.
oh, it was certainly unnerving for
Yeah.
sure.
And he
So
directed this one too, right? Or
correct.
okay. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So it made me even be like, they couldn't go for a third. I guess it'll depend on how much money this one makes, but 'tis the season. It is spooky season, so I'm sure it'll make some money for sure.
Yeah.
Now, thinking about front of the camera, do you have particular favorite actors or actresses?
I will say my favorite actress, I have many, it's so hard, but like
Mhm.
one whose movies I connect to like really a lot is Dakota Johnson. But like
Okay.
I feel like beyond 50 Shades of Grey, she has her movies now are just so good. Like Materialist, Daddy-O last year, how to
Yes.
like even like How to Be Single, Our Friend,
Mhm.
like her stories are just like she like creates the best characters, I feel like, and I really like love her stories.
I'll have to connect you with my friend Rod, whose Instagram page is literally the Dakota Johnson fan club.
Really? That's so cool.
So it's so
Yeah.
funny because he had been trying to get me to fall in love with Dakota Johnson as an actor for so long. And it actually was Daddy O. When I left that movie, I'm like,
Yeah.
I'm convinced now.
Yeah.
And I messaged him, I'm like, Rod, you did it. I'm convinced now.
Yeah.
So I get excited when I get to whether it's, she had materialists
Hmm.
and then what was the movie she just had? I'm
Oh,
completely
Splitsville.
Splitsville,
Yeah, that was
which
fun.
she was fantastic in that too,
Yeah,
and I get excited to see what she winds up doing for sure now. So
yeah,
maybe not Madam Web, but I don't
yeah,
think she was
yeah,
particularly excited about that either. So there you go.
yeah.
Now, Nicholas, what's a movie you feel like you could just watch literally every day?
Yeah, this change because like there's so many and it changes, but I will say
Mhm.
like right now I'm a sucker for like a fun animated movie like that
Okay.
just like not too serious like
Mhm.
so like something like Migration right now I could watch every
Okay.
day or Trolls Band Together. Those two I like the joy of those movies are just so fun.
Not gonna lie, I just bought the Trolls trio pack on Blu-ray during Prime Day. Because, like, not gonna lie, like, do I think they're great movies? Probably not. But could I endlessly watch them and just enjoy all of the jukebox musical of it all? I'm like, honestly, yes.
Yeah.
And did I listen to that NSYNC song way too many times when that came
Yeah.
out?
Yeah.
Yes, and I still do. So there you go. Trolls
Yeah.
just has that vibe. And honestly, I had no expectations for Migration when I went to
Yeah.
go see that. And that's like a lean 80-minute, just wild, fun ride. And I still think about it, honestly. And I'm certainly leaning towards like, I would actually want to watch it again. I have a couple friends who are like the biggest fans of Migration
Yeah.
and will try to tell people to go check it out whenever they get a chance. But it's a fun time for sure.
That's cool. Yeah.
Yeah. Now, what's a film that you connect with closely because it relates to another interest of yours?
This is a funny example because it's not like the
Mhm.
best movie, but Harold and the Purple Crayon because I love books. Like I'm a book
Okay.
nerd too, so that story has to do with like books and the book
Mhm.
world. So
I
yeah,
know this one came out before you were born, but this
yeah.
was one that I watched a lot because I'm an avid reader and was always an avid reader as a kid was a page master. Did you ever watch that from the 90s?
No.
So it has Macaulay Culkin in it, so you know this is early 90s. And he basically gets whisked away into the world of books, and there's like little book characters that he hangs out with. That was one that I always loved as an avid reader as a kid, so would recommend. I have all the nostalgia though to it. I have not watched it in years, so I will not say if it's a great movie or not, but that's the first thing that I think of when it comes to my love of books too.
Oh, nice. Cool.
Now, do you have a particular movie character that you feel like you connect with on a personal level?
Yeah, I will say I'm a huge Paranormal Activity fan. I have the T-shirt on now. So
Nice.
Paranormal Activity for Alex because I'm just like very bubbly and outgoing, so I really connect there. And I was a teen in that era too, of like the early 2010s. I feel like that movie like really honed in on like being a teen in that time, and I love that franchise. So yeah.
So I think you might appreciate this. I watched the first Paranormal Activity for the first time like 2 months ago. Um, so because like obviously I mentioned I didn't watch horror movies until more recently in my life, and I finally got around to watching Paranormal Activity for one of my podcasts, and I was not disappointed by the fact that like this was made for $5 and they did some amazing work for sure.
Yeah. Did you see all the other ones or just the first one?
So I watched the first one, haven't gotten to the rest of the main franchise, but I did it wasn't my first paranormal activity movie. I did watch one of those straight to Paramount Plus ones
Oh yeah.
because when that came out because I got a press screening link for it. I'm trying to remember which one that was, but I didn't love I feel like, you know, the found footage thing has been done to death, and
Yeah.
you really have to put something creative into it
Mhm.
to make it feel fresh and interesting. But obviously, that Paranormal Activity was like nothing we've seen put on a film before,
Yeah.
and they give honestly gives you a lot of hope that like, hey, if you're an aspiring filmmaker, you could make a movie for like a couple $1,000 and then make an insane amount of money.
Yeah, it's very grounded, those films. It's very simple, low budget.
Yeah.
So it's, yeah, yep, yeah,
Keep it simple, and you
yep,
can tell some interesting stories for sure.
yeah.
Now, what film do you love that you feel like would surprise people?
I would definitely say Across the Spider-Verse. Yeah.
Okay.
Because I'm not the biggest, nothing against the Marvel universe. I'm personally not the biggest Marvel fan, but I love
Mhm.
both the Spider-Verse movies, and I can't
Mhm.
wait for the third one. Yeah.
Which we'll probably have to wait like another 5 years.
Yeah.
Which I know it has a release date,
Hmm.
so we'll see. But no, I think Spider-Verse did that for a lot of people. I think
Hmm.
a lot of people were like not super into superhero movies or kind of done with superhero movies, but they felt so fresh and so exciting and dynamic and had a lot of depth. So I could definitely see that. And I could see your poster. So there you
Yeah.
go.
Yep. Yeah.
And it left an impact.
Yeah.
But Nicholas, my last question for you is what do you love most about movies?
I love how movies like can make us feel seen and comforted, like when you feel like you relate to a character so much and it
Mhm.
gives you hope and just like feeling of a connection. I think that's the most beautiful thing about film is like when you can really like feel like connected through a movie.
You know, I know you mentioned like in at the moment enjoying like a fun, silly kind of animated film, but when you get a film where you see somebody on that screen and you really connect with them and you're just like, oh, I've been there. And just have that, it's a very unique and special kind of experience. And that's certainly something I appreciate about film as well.
Yeah, definitely.
But but yeah, so Nicholas, thank you so much for humoring me and answering my questions. But I always like to wrap up my show by having my guest ask me a question. So what would you like to ask the Wasteland Reviewer?
So I know you're a newer horror fan, it seems like, but I want to know what is your favorite subgenre of horror, like found footage, torture porn, any of that?
Oh,
Yeah,
that's a good question.
yeah.
Um, I definitely, I really appreciate very atmospheric kind of horror. So like my favorite horror film is The Shining, which I don't think you could get more atmospheric than that.
Yeah.
Just all vibes and music and stuff like that. And like I appreciate a wide range of them, but there's also, I guess, probably supernatural horror because like there's just something that's so unexplainable, whether it's like The Shining or I'm a huge fan of The Exorcist,
Mhm.
and I'm a huge fan of the Conjuring movies,
Yeah.
especially the second one. And they're just something where it's just like, sure, there's serial killers out there. There's people that do terrible things to people.
Mhm.
Ghosts, though, demons,
Yeah.
it's a whole other kind of level of terrifying for me. So that's something that I guess that would probably be the one that I would probably lean closest to for sure.
Yeah, when you mentioned atmospheric, the first thing I thought, did you see Long Legs from last year? Yeah.
Oh, Oz Perkins sure knows how to make something atmospheric.
Yeah.
Because I have to go back and rewatch it, but
Hmm.
I remember watching the Black Coat's Daughter or like that really early one that Oz Perkins made,
Hmm.
and I did not get it. When I watched that or when I initially watched it, I'd love to go back and check that out. And I remember going to see Gretel and Hansel,
Hmm.
his adaptation of that, and that is all atmosphere and vibes for sure. And God, Longlegs has the most intense sense of dread I think I've seen in a movie in a while.
Yeah.
And then Nick Cage, which my wife and I are big Nick Cage fans,
Oh,
so
yeah.
it was so funny because my wife does not go to horror movies with me in theaters.
Hmm.
She needs to watch them at home where she has like an escape
Hmm.
and stuff like that. And there's just one random day where she's like, "Can we watch Longlegs?" So I did rewatch that earlier this year, and I definitely didn't have as much of a problem as a lot of people did with like its final act and stuff like
Hmm.
that. But boy, Nick Cage is creepy as hell.
Oh, that movie, he is crazy.
So
It's so
so
scary.
creepy.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um,
It's,
so I'm a big fan of the band T-Rex,
mhm.
which they play all their music in that movie. And anytime it comes on in the car now, my wife's like, "Did you wear your long legs today?" And I'm just like,
Yeah.
without skipping a beat, always straight to that joke. I'm like, "Thanks, Jeff,
Yeah, it was a creepy film.
for sure."
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
Nicholas, thank you so much for coming on and chatting some movies with me.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. And please make sure to check out in the description of the video where you could check out all of Nicholas's work. But most importantly, thank all of you out there for always tuning in and supporting your Wasteland Reviewer.